Hello, I'm Lesley Logan, and today we're going to do the roll-up on the mat. We'll also talk about modifications and advancements. So the roll-up on the mat is probably next to the teaser, the one I get the most questions about on how to do this. If you are watching this video from my deck of flashcards, love you. If you don't know what my deck of flashcards are, check them out at onlinepilatesclasses.com. We have a card for every single exercise on the mat with tips and transitions. So the roll-up, I'm going to show you the ideal version, and then we're going to break it down into ways to modify it and then ways to advance it. I happen to love the roll-up, and I'm not going to lie. When I was taught the roll-up, I was told that you use the strap when you're a beginner and not when you're advanced. No. If you have access to the strap, you use it the more advanced you get. You should use it as a beginner as well, but the strap tells us a lot about where we are in our connections. If you don't have access to a strap, I'm going to show you how to do it without the strap, and it's just harder because you don't have that, but it also means you aren't going to overuse the strap too. So there's a little bit of benefit there. So let's talk about how you actually do the ideal version. So ideally, right, you are in the 100 and you just lower your legs, flex your feet, parallel everything, and then roll up and over. And if you have a strap, you use it and you place your feet pulling back on the strap, but my heels are still down. My knees are not pressing down. When you come up and over yourself, you pulse 3 times and then you roll back down. So the pulses, I get asked this a lot, they're not coming from the shoulders, and they're actually not even coming from your spine going forward. They're coming from your center. So you hug your outer hips in, you roll up and over, and when you pulse, it's like my stomach is doing almost like a crunch. Pull, 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 and then you go back. So ideally you have a bar here. If you don't have a bar at home, you can use like a Swiffer stick or something like that, but a bar also helps whether you have a strap or not. So let me just talk about a couple things. We're not going down into ourself. So that actually pulls me into a flatter back and a more slouchier spine. I actually want you to be the longest flexion always. So you're trying to, without being a flat back, you're trying to be round and go up. And that creates the most space here. And as you're pulsing, your upper abs are going up. Your waist is pulling back. The outer hips are hugging in. So some modifications. First of all, if you don't have a strap, let's talk about it without the strap, because that's where a lot of people need a modification. You can also just come to as far as you can go without lifting your legs. You can come up as far as you can go without moving your legs, right? Because if you're coming up and then already your legs are moving, do you see how I've lost that shape of my spine? So it is possible to do the roll up and have very little movement in those legs whatsoever without. It takes a lot of concentration, a lot of focus, a lot of control. So if you have a pole, what I want you to do with that pole is really simple. You're going to pull on it, and that's going to help you keep your arms connected to your back. So let's talk about that connection, because it will advance your roll up and also make it easier to do. So you pull on this bar, and then when you lift your head and chest through your arms, you're pulling out on the bar. That keeps your upper back wide, and it allows you to have more length in your back, almost even more stretch, not because my shoulders are on my ears, but because they're on my back. That allows me to reach forward even more with my spine. So if you're someone who tends to, I call it armgina, where your arms come off your back and you get a little pecky, right? So let's go back over. Ideal is with a strap and a bar, up and over, pulse 3 times, and go back down. Modification would be to come up as far as you can and go back down. Another modification would be you could actually do what's called the half roll back or elbow slip, which I'll do in other videos. So I want you to check those out in my other videos because I'm gonna go into more detail. The next thing you could also do is start at the top in the shape of the roll up and roll back as far as you can and then come back up. That's a great modification. More advancement on this exercise would be to take your arms all the way back. Here we talked about this in the 100 video, without your ribs popping up. Then lifting your arms to the sky and your head going between your arms. And then you keep your head between your arms all the way down, and it makes your upper body heavier when your arms and your head go at the same time. So play with all of those until you find the one that works for you today. And then just always remember that your body is different every single day. So if you are sticking with the exact same variation because it worked for you a while back, you're only doing yourself a disservice. You could actually probably go deeper by now. Or maybe one day you have to like scale it back because you're on a long road trip, right? So check in with yourself. And one great way to do that is in our weekly classes on onlinepilatesclasses.com. Every single week we change the class, and that allows you to practice a class all week long, but then not get stuck on this is my roll up, right? This is your roll up today. And hopefully tomorrow or next year, you're in a different one, right? Because we're always trying to grow and be really present in our body. Thank you so much for watching this. And if you're wanting to do life better, check out onlinepilatesclasses.com.